Going into the conclusion of the 13th season of Chicago Fire, which will air on NBC, it should not come as much of a surprise that sacrifices will play a significant role in the narrative. Really, are you able to be surprised? How could you, taking everything into consideration? Whenever the members of Firehouse 51 go out into the field, there is a significant likelihood that they are heading towards a disastrous conclusion. This is the case each and every time they do their duties. First and foremost, it is important to take note that "It Had to End This Way" is possibly the most foreboding title for a conclusion that you are going to come across. Simply by glancing at that title, there are a lot of reasons to believe that a difficult conclusion might be on the horizon. You are able to view the complete summary of Chicago Fire Season 13, Episode 22, which provides additional information about what is to come. On the evening of Wednesday, May 21, 2025, between the hours of 9:00 p.m. and 10:00 p.m., Severide puts his job on the line in order to assist one of their own. Natalie's relationship with her sister is a complicated one, and Kid helps her negotiate it. Hammond is getting ready to take the chief examination. Channel 14. Is Kelly going to resign from his position? Considering that, as of the time this article was written, we have not yet received any information that leads us to believe that Taylor Kinney will be departing the series, let's just say that we are optimistic about the situation. With that being stated, we are aware that both Daniel Keary and Jake Lockett are going to leave at some point in the future, which is a difficult situation to be in, even if they have not been there for a very long time by any means. This is one of those shows where individuals do come and leave for a variety of different reasons, but especially now, given that studios are cutting expenses. The unfortunate reality here is that this is one of those shows. Previously, we were aware that other series inside the Dick Wolf universe are experiencing this issue. In the event that you have not yet heard about it, the most crucial conclusion to Chicago Fire Season 13 Episode 22 is the episode that serves as the finale. Prepared for what lies ahead? Are you ready? First things first, before we go any further, let's just declare that we are concerned about this situation first. Is it possible that we are not at this point? Over the course of its run, this television program has not only generated a number of cliffhangers, but it has also established endings that have resulted in the deaths of significant characters. Are we of the opinion that this is something that is happening here? This is just a friendly reminder that both Ritter, played by Daniel Keary, and Carver, played by Jake Lockett, will be leaving the show at the conclusion of this season. There is a possibility that one of the characters will be eliminated, but there is also the possibility that they will simply leave, leaving the door open for additional appearances in the future. One thing that we can tell with certainty is that, according to the manner in which NBC is presenting this narrative, which is headlined "It Had to End This Way," the producers are not necessarily leading the charge with some major life or death incident. Below, you will find the complete summary of the 22nd episode of the 13th season of Chicago Fire, which provides additional information about what is to come. On the evening of Wednesday, May 21, 2025, between the hours of 9:00 p.m. and 10:00 p.m., Severide puts his job on the line in order to assist one of their own. Natalie's relationship with her sister is a complicated one, and Kid helps her negotiate it. Hammond is getting ready to take the chief examination. Channel 14. There is a possibility that we are going to witness something that is more emotional, and this is just based on what is included within this. The fact that Hammond is going to take the chief test also makes us wonder whether or not he will be able to take over as the leader of Firehouse 51 in the future. Is it inevitable that Pascal will only spend a brief amount of time in the series? The only way to find out what's going on here is to wait and see. In the teaser for the 13th season finale of Chicago Fire, Severide and Pascal are seen to be in risk of being punished for their involvement in the attempted murder of Robert Franklin. When the team was in the penultimate episode of the season, they were involved in a car accident, which was followed by a strange automobile fire. The driver was extracted from the vehicle, and it was revealed to be Franklin, the individual who had been responsible for the unintentional death of Pascal's wife in a car accident. Upon discovering that the fire was started prior to the collision, Severide makes contact with the OFI and Captain Van Meter. Together, they uncover a puncture in the catalytic converter, which leads them to conclude that Pascal is the primary suspect. According to TV promos, the trailer for the 13th season finale of Chicago Fire depicts Colonel Van Meter and the Office of the Federal Investigator, OFFI, conducting an investigation into Pascal for allegedly attempting to kill Robert Franklin, the driver who was responsible for the accidental death of his wife, Monica. In an emotionally intense promotional video, Severide, who had concerns about Pascal, finds himself caught up in the drama when Van Meter warns him, "If Pascal is going down, you're going down with him." Severide comes to realize that he is going down with Pascal. It is possible that Chief Pascal is in a lot of difficulty, and it is even possible that he is going to be arrested for attempted murder, according to the trailer. As a result, this would lay the stage for yet another significant departure of a character from Chicago Fire, with Dylan Mulroney perhaps quitting the series. Nevertheless, one of the most surprising consequences could be the destiny of Severide, and whether or not he will wind up going down with Pascal, merely for the reason that he was attempting to do what was right. The fan-favorite character has had a challenging season to this far, as the adoption that he and Kid had planned for themselves did not go through, and neither of them chose to take time off from their jobs. In spite of the fact that it is quite probable that Severide will emerge from this examination with relatively few injuries, he may be subject to ramifications that will continue to be felt until the 14th season of Chicago Fire. Despite the fact that Severide has made the decision to immerse himself in his profession, he has found himself in a situation where he is confronted with additional challenges. Furthermore, his efforts to act morally may result in him being arrested with Pascal. At this point, things are not looking good for Severide, and the hope will be that he will be able to convince Van Meter of his innocence and try to get to the bottom of what happened, as well as determine whether Pascal is, in fact, guilty for what occurred. However, it is uncertain what the episode might store for Severide as Chicago Fire Season 13 comes to a close. The television show Chicago Fire has long been known for its ability to build fascinating narrative arcs, and this is just another illustration of how well the show is able to weave stories that are compelling. In spite of the fact that it is quite probable that Severide will emerge from this examination with relatively few injuries, he may be subject to ramifications that will continue to be felt until the 14th season of Chicago Fire. Alternatively, it appears that this could be the end of the road for Pascal, unless someone is trying to frame him. If this is the case, then his season arc should be completed in the forthcoming episode that serves as the closing episode. The episode The Bad Guy from Chicago Fire Season 13, Episode 21, effectively writes out one of the characters before Sam Carver and Darren Ritter leave the show. There have been a number of cast members who have left the One Chicago franchise during the course of its more than 10 years on the air. When it comes to ensemble procedurals, Dick Wolf is well aware that actor rotations are a significant component in maintaining the consistency and longevity of his show. Having said that, it would be an understatement to say that the past few years have been turbulent at Firehouse 51, taking into consideration the fact that everyone has gone for a variety of reasons. At the conclusion of the 12th season of Chicago Fire, the show experienced its most significant departure to yet. Firehouse 51 Chief Bowden resigned after receiving an unexpected promotion that would boost his position within the Chicago Fire Department. Additionally, Sylvie Brett and Blake Geller had already left prior to then. Both of these factors, together with the weekly cast rotations that are implemented as a cost-cutting strategy, can make it challenging to recall which characters are still a part of the show. The television show Chicago Fire is suffering the loss of two characters, Ritter and Carver, as the year draws to a close. Prior to their departures, however, the first responder procedural manages to slip in another departure with the episode titled The Bad Guy. The 21st episode of the 13th season of Chicago Fire features Violet's return after she had been absent the previous week due to NBC's cast rotation scheduling. The unfortunate reality is that her comeback is accompanied by a multitude of difficulties, the majority of them pertain to her personal life. Additionally, her revival coincides with the reappearance of Flynn, the attorney that Violet has been seeing since the beginning of this year. During the chance encounter, the two individuals immediately felt a connection with one another. Nevertheless, despite the fact that it appears as though their relationship has been going swimmingly, there are problems that are simmering on the surface. Violet ultimately makes the decision to discontinue her relationship with Flynn, which effectively brings an end to his position in Chicago Fire. There is a significant disagreement between the two of them as a result of Flynn's recommendation that Violet pursue a career in medicine. She has been dealing with the same passive-aggressive comments from those around her for years, ever since she made the decision to become a paramedic. This is something that she has been contending with. There is no doubt that Violet is skilled in her work, and if she ever decides to pursue a career in medicine, she will be able to achieve her goal of becoming a physician. Violet ultimately makes the decision to discontinue her relationship with Flynn, which effectively brings an end to his position in Chicago Fire. In the absence of his relationship to her, there is a very little to non-existent possibility of ever seeing him again. Violet and Flynn's disagreement in the 21st episode of the 13th season of Chicago Fire is officially about the fact that she does not appreciate Flynn's suggestion that she is becoming comfortable in her work. Having said that, the problem that caused them to part ways is not truly related to that concern. As soon as it dawns on Flynn that she is breaking up with him over something that they can seemingly talk about, he immediately acknowledges this fact. This is predicated on the assumption that both of them want to make things right. However, it is not the case at all. Despite the fact that Violet believed she was having a nice time with Flynn, she has always been in love with Carver. This is true right up until the present moment. In spite of this, she and her co-worker were unable to find a method to make things work at that moment, taking into consideration the personal baggage that each of them carried. As a result of Carver's decision to seek treatment for his alcoholism, he has not played a significant role in the 13th season of Chicago Fire. However, Violet has come to understand how extremely important he is to her. During the 13th season of Chicago Fire, Flynn has been involved in a number of other work-related plots, but there simply is not enough story for him to be a part of the show without regards to his connections to Violet. Due to the fact that One Chicago is known for bringing back characters for shorter arcs in order to evoke feelings of nostalgia, it is possible that he will return at some point in the future. The eventual departure of Carver from Firehouse 51, regardless of how the storyline develops, could even constitute a way for him to make an appearance in the 14th season of Chicago Fire. In the end, Violet is the one who is in a situation where she has no choice but to lose.